Our next recipients, Suezette Bieri and Mike Jacobs, have been a power couple in Grand Forks since they graduated from UND. Mike is a journalist, and Suzette as a driving force in the Space Studies program here at UND.
Mike and Suzette have known each other since they were preschool classmates in Stanley, North Dakota. They married in 1971. After moving around the state, they came back to Grand Forks in the early 80s. Mike would start a long career with the Grand Forks Herald newspaper, and Suzette worked for the University of Minnesota Crookston before earning a master's degree in space studies from UND. She would become deputy director of the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium.
She's a proud alumni of the university, and we travel around the state and doing different things, and she always had UND, and was able to demonstrate her enthusiasm for the university.
I think what makes him deserving is his career in journalism in the state, his very public, visible career, the impact that he's had on the state. Beyond that, I think it's his love of the University of North Dakota and the love of the state of North Dakota. It's just incredible. I call him Mr. North Dakota because he knows so much about the state. When I used to travel with him, anywhere we went, he knew at least one person in that location, not a scheduled meeting, but just would run into somebody that knew Mike. So he's so well connected with the state, his love of the University of North Dakota, his support of students, and his love for the students that we have here.
She was instrumental on supporting the area of spacesuit research, which is what I have been doing for 20 years. So I often think that if it wasn't for Suzette, probably, and the support that she showed during the beginning of my research, we won't have this capability here at UND.
Mike and Suzette are role models because they are really concerned with student success and supporting students in ways that sets them up to be successful throughout their lives. A good example is their support of undergraduate research within the College of Arts and Sciences. Undergraduate research is a really critical part of student retention at UND, but also getting students to think more deeply about what they're studying while they're here. In addition to that, they're the first donors to a scholarship in the Forensic Science program, which is a fast-growing program within our college. And that's a really important milestone for the Forensic Science program. So that's an example, setting up a scholarship for that academic program.
Mike, we are so proud to have you and Suzette as recipients of our highest honor. Unfortunately, Suzette was not able to be here with us tonight. Mike, please come forward to accept your Sioux Awards for Distinguished Achievement in Leadership.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to commit journalism here tonight. The first commandment in the newspaper business is never check the facts after you publish them. And so I am here to call out Doug Burgum, who did not check the facts, at least I cannot imagine that he checked the facts, that there are twice as many people in Fargo cheering for the Bison as there are in Grand Forks cheering for the Hawks. And I'm pretty sure of that because a very large percentage of the political and economic leadership in Fargo have degrees from the University of North Dakota, which is in Grand Forks. Never print the news until you have checked the facts. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to face the first fact as courageously as I can. Suzette, as you know, is not here. She's in the hospital after a fall related to her advancing dementia. We, that is the doctors and I, don't expect that she'll be coming home, though I pray that she will. We're looking for long-term care for her now. I'm going to be left in a 4,000 square foot house with 3 cats. President Armacost made plain that he would bring the award to our home, which is something that I can't imagine any of the previous presidents would have wanted to do. And I realized then that Andy Armacost has done something else. He has stopped us from pining about the departure of Tom Clifford. The second fact that I have to face is that it's even harder than Suzette's hospitalization because grief is the strongest emotion, right up there with love. I want to introduce, I don't want to interview anybody. I want to introduce some people who are here, starting with my older sister, Eileen, who is much shorter than I am. And she's back there somewhere. Where are you? There we are. And her daughter, my niece, Cindy Larkham, and my sister-in-law, Becky Blessum, who has been a wonderful helper with Suzette. Her daughter, Ann Mason, who is a double degree winner from the nursing school at University of North Dakota, and her husband, Daxon Mason, and the boys, 2 of the best-looking teenagers on the planet, Jace and Brecken. And my cousin, Kim Yeager, is out there as well. She worked at the Grand Forks Herald and at newspapers in the Twin Cities. Her husband's an important figure, or was an important figure, at the Minneapolis Tribune. So all of those people are 2 tables back. I can't see them at all. The next table coming forward is all journalists, too many to reel off, even though they are likely the greatest accumulation of newspaper smarts in the nation, and all of them are connected to UND. Another special guest is Pablo De Leon, whom you saw on the program. He and Suzette had a wonderful professional relationship. She looks up to him and enjoyed working with him, and I want Pablo to know that, and I want to thank him. I have to introduce Jeff Dodson because he's the guy that the Alumni Association sent to pick our pockets. And I have to say that he has done a very good job of it. And then there's Mark Sanford, a Sioux Award winner, and next to my father, probably the most important man in my life. I was in his classroom on the day that John Kennedy was killed. I think it was geometry class, but I didn't do well in it. Suzette's the one with the math smarts, as Dr. Sanford regularly reminds me. Dr. Sanford encouraged, he was not a Dr. Sanford yet. He was a fresh graduate from Minot State College, Teachers College, and he was in his first job at Stanley. He encouraged us to go to UND. He was the basketball coach in Stanley, and he tried to recruit me since I was a tall boy. I also had large hands, which were needed in the dairy barn. So no basketball glory for me. And here's another fact. Suzette and I didn't go to the same grade school. She is adamant when she saw the article that I correct this. We were children together. Our parents knew each other, didn't agree on anything. But we did not go to grade school together. She went to Granada No. 1 in Blaisdell, and I went to the big school in Stanley. Actually, 3 of tonight's honorees are from Montreal County. I don't recall that this has ever happened before. Monica Meyer is from Newtown, and her father was raised near Stanley, my hometown, and Suzette, of course, from Blaisdell, and me from Stanley. How many of you could point to Montreal County on a map? How many of you have ever been there? Some. Stanley is exactly 60 miles west of Minot on US Highway 2. And I can tell you absolutely everything to look at between here and there. And what it looked like, oh my God, 50 years ago. This is the trouble with writing a speech. You have to turn the pages. In addition to our journalists here tonight, UND has produced at least 4 award winners in journalism. One of them was Mel Reuter. He owned a newspaper in Montana and won a Pulitzer Prize for local reporting. 4 months later, he received one of the first Sioux Awards. And he gave his money to the University of Montana. Just saying. Sarah Garland got her Sioux Award at mid-career, and Lucy Dalglish, who worked at the Herald for a time, got hers pretty early on in her career. The Herald won its Pulitzer Prize for public service, the big one, after the 1997 flood, the big one. So you do the math. That's 27 years. It's okay, though. I'm proud to accept it now for all of those who helped the Herald publish every single day. No issue missed, not a single one. Plus, the fact is, my degree is not in journalism. Nope. My degree is in philosophy and religious studies. Now I'm going to take a minute to tell you why you should study philosophy. First off, graduates of that department are among the highest paid of UND alums, as Professor Jack Weinstein delights in announcing. Of course, the fact is, that owes a lot to Phil Jackson. You've all heard of Phil Jackson, a man of principle who declined this award until the name was changed. When I met my handler, Kelly Usseldinger, I asked how long I could speak. 3 minutes, she said. I bargained for 6, since I'm speaking for 2. But I don't really need that many. I asked Google, how many words the average person can get out in 6 minutes? The answer is 840. But really, I need only 2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you forever, UND.